seconds if they get any kind of a return.
And they do have 3 timeouts remaining. And they are sending Henry Ellard back to return the punt. Threw it. Should have caught the football. Even if he did not get out of bounds, the Dolphins would have been able to use one of their timeouts. It would have been a first down.
Reggie Roby to kick. And the Rams will send everybody. They got a piece of one earlier. Low snap. He gets it off. And it'll roll to the 21-yard line. 40 yards on the kick. 8 seconds left. Now, did you notice that Ellard signaled for the fair catch way away from the ball? The reason being, if the kick would have come up short on a fair catch, you can then call for a free kick and go for the field goal attempt with everybody 10 yards off of the line.
That's right, but it's so far away that Lansford would have not had any shot at all.
Oh, no, but just in case. Yeah, I mean, he went up with it to start.
That's the correct play. At the end of a half or the end of a game, a punt returner is instructed to call for the fair catch because it does set up that free kick situation. It does not happen very often in the NFL.
No, but every once in a while. Every once in a while. Didn't happen today, of course.
Overtime.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Rams are going to down the ball here. Don't take a chance. Good move. And we're in overtime. We're tied at 31-31. So we go to sudden death. And of course, as you know, the team scoring first anyway, winning. And if there's no score in 1 quarter of play, and then it officially goes in the book as a tie, there'll be a 3-minute intermission.
This entire thing. This, of course, if the Rams win today, they win the division. If they lose today, it sets up the confrontation in the West between both the Rams and the 49ers on Friday night for the title. But in the case of a tie, what happened?
We will chase that information down.
Your choice, please call it in the air. Heads. We call heads. It's heads. Your choice. You want the ball? We'll take the ball. We'll take the ball. We'll take the ball.
Dwight Stevenson with the best ball of the day.
Chose to receive. We'll play in 3 minutes.
Dazzled you with confusion, didn't it?
No, what it comes down to is that hopefully we'll have either a win or a loss here this afternoon, so that the confounding of the playoff picture becomes easier for us.
This is now final. Kansas City has defeated the Raiders 20-17, and that means that the Raiders are out, and it also means that the Jets are in the playoffs. City with the final we just gave you. 4th quarter, Seattle leading San Diego by 10. You know, if Seattle hadn't had that slump, if and buts were candy and nuts, you know that story. Houston leading by 6, 16-10. Every day would be Christmas is the end of that line for him. Now we're tied here at 31-31, and Miami will have the first offensive practice. Craig Ellis and Mike Kozlowski set for the return, and we're underway in overtime. Ellis to the 10, the 15, 20, 25-yard line, and there are no flags. Something that you immediately check on all kickoff returns now. Cliff Thrift, formerly with San Diego and the Chicago Bears, where he picked up a Super Bowl ring last year, is the man who made the tackle for the Rams. Psychologically in overtime from a quarterback standpoint, do you change your or do you stay with the same thing?
I think you do what's best, but I think the advantage here is to the Rams because the ball is in Dolphin territory and a turnover could end the game, so ball position and field position is very important.
Pass is complete left side. This is Ron Davenport, and he's out to the 33, so he has 8, and it'll be 2nd down and 2 as Carl Eckert and Nolan Cromwell make the tackle.
Shuttling in plays now with their tight ends. Zane Johnson comes in for Bruce Hardy. The play from the sideline.
2nd and 2. to the 40, to the 50, to the 40, inside the 35-yard line, 32-yard line, 34 yards. Johnny Johnson saved the touchdown.
Now watch the crunching block up top by Lorenzo Hampton. Not really a crushing block, but he does push the defensive linebacker Mike Wiltshire out of the way, allowing Hampton to get down the sideline. Excuse me, that's Davenport. Watch Shula and his reaction as Davenport is going down the sideline.
A little shuffle along the sideline to help him along the way. Ron Davenport with the key play in overtime. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Duper. Shula wants a face mask call. Leroy Irvin was there. They've been picking on him all afternoon.
Just that quick slant pattern that the Dolphins run so very often and are so successful with. It was a little bit behind Duper, and there you see the question of Shula's face mask may be true.
Yes, he had a couple of fingers on his face mask.
Of course, that one of the 26 penalties that does not come under the scrutiny of the replay official.
Does not fall into the venue of the replay official. Juan Reveiz. 2nd and 10. Replay. Rams were in the neutral zone. It is intercepted by Mickey Sutton, but the flags could well nullify the interception. Of course, as a quarterback, you know, Bob, when you've got that free play and you can gamble.
Well, that's true, Charlie, and as we see the offsides on the Rams, and he knew he had it. He also had a man breaking free downfield, and I think what he's intending to do right now...
Number 91 on the defense, still 2nd down.
It's Kevin Green.
He just wants to play it cautiously and get his team into field goal position. He wouldn't have thrown that ball had he not had the flag.
Going to be 2nd down and 5 at the 27-yard line. Reveiz is hit from 18 yards in this ball game. He is at 12 of 20 on the year. Lots of time. 22-yard line is Davenport. And Eckern for the defense. We're going to have timeout for a measurement. That was 2nd and 5.
If it's 3rd and short, it was not good enough for the first down.
Let's see. No, it was.
No, it was. It is a first down for the Dolphins. So I think you go through another series. You try to go, as Bob said, with the safe passing, the short passing game. Don't make any mistakes. Throw the football away if you decide to go ahead and throw it. And give Reveiz a little bit more room to allow him to kick the field goal.
Marino, 28 of 45 for 383 yards. Seattle defeats San Diego. That's now final by 10, 34-24. We're in overtime here at 31-31. Lorenzo Hampton to the 20-yard line. And we're having an early exchange of Christmas greetings. Happy holiday.
And that could be devastating to a team to get a penalty such as that. It was Dellenbach and Gray going at it for the Dolphins and for the Rams. But you get a penalty in that situation. If it's you offensively, you take your team out of field goal position. And if it's against the defense, you set them up for a winning field goal. Really not an intelligent play on the part of the players.
We're moving on the 3-minute mark, time into overtime. 2nd and 8. Into the end zone. It is Duper. Touchdown. Mark Duper, his 3rd touchdown reception. Dan Marino, 5 touchdown passes. The Dolphins do it.
between the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers for the Western Division Championship in the NFC.
Dan Marino, 29 of 46, 403 yards, and here is his 5th touchdown.
It's the same play the Dolphins hooked on earlier. They once again are picking on Irvin in the corner of the end zone. A great catch by Duper. He had to take it up off the top with his hands and still put off the beating from Irvin, and he goes in for the score. The reaction of Don Shula and the Dolphins.
3 minutes and 4 seconds into overtime. It is Miami 37, Los Angeles 21. A 75-yard touchdown drive. We'll be back in just a moment to Anaheim Stadium.
Chuck Knox is one of the strongest advocates of the instant replay system. And here's a case where it may have been the difference in the game. There was 1:46 left, and at least on the field, they did not see the ball hit Kaiser.
Yeah, and that is a situation where the replay can be effective, and in this case is effective. Look for the same kind of situation again. One more chance.
And for Dan Reeves, he apparently saw this. You could see him, and you had the feel. There it is, right off the left knee or left shin of 54 Kaiser before it reached the 45-yard line. Nearly a perfect execution. A 5-yard penalty, and it's another penalty that has really burned the Seahawks. They have a lot of scars today from mistakes, and although that you can't really call a mistake, he's trying to get out of the way.
You saw Sean Gailey, who's the special teams coach for the Broncos, sending his troops out. You don't know what Rusty's going to come up with next after that lineup. Maybe the same thing. It literally worked. Had that ball been downfield just a little further, and Rusty is furious. That's the second time today they've had what they thought were turnaround kind of plays with a special team, and they've been reversed. One by a penalty and one by the instant replay.
Yeah, they line up in the same formation. Of course, this gives those on-tacking 7 off on the far side a running start.
That one's down far enough.
And it's covered by the Broncos, Randy Robbins. Seattle does not have a timeout to stop the clock with 1:46 left. But boy, you've got to hand it to the Seahawks and their special teams. When the game seemed really out of hand, 20-6. Patrick Bolin, the owner of the Broncos, nothing is easy.
No, nothing is easy between these two teams. Their last 3 games decided by field goals. This one appeared to be a much easier game. Looked like Denver was going to run away and hide. But here it's Seattle coming close in the final seconds, and except for that reversal on the replay, it would have been their ball on the 45.
You might wonder if Chuck Knox will be second-guessing himself and not going to Gail Gilbert a little earlier, with Craig having such an off afternoon and Gilbert having such remarkable success, taking him only 48 seconds to drive the team the full length of the field with his passing tools.
Gotta wonder why Elway would ever want to call a timeout here in this situation with 1:46.
bid aggressively on Warren Moon. They went after Bobby Hebert. People said they were trying to get Kelly when he was coming.
Jim Everett.
And Jim Everett, too. They bid hard on Jim Everett. Unable to get any of those people. And the reason is they just don't feel that they get that consistent performance out of Craig. And he showed us today why they have concerns for him. Got to wonder, after a game like this, do you go back again and begin looking for a quarterback? It's a constant search, I'm sure, for Seattle. But then again, you look at the great days that Craig has had, and you say, gee, why can't he do that? You know, just get close to that on a day like today.
Alan, for Craig himself, tough question to answer. But my guess is that Knox was, and you played for him, he is consistent. You said it early in the game. You know what he's going to do and what he's done in the past. When Craig's had a bad game, bring him back the next time out at home against the Jets at the Kingdome, and he might have a superb.
You know, after last week's game, Elway, who got kicked in the head, had some amnesia. People said he was the luckiest one on the field. Maybe Craig, if he's lucky, somebody will bump him in the head as he heads off to the sideline, and he won't have to remember this game. I'm sure it will go down for him as his all-time worst as a professional.
41 seconds on the clock and counting. Here's a case where the official apparently isn't even going to mark the ball till it gets under 30, so they don't have to run a play. Or will they? They have marked it. Okay, so this will be the last play of the game. On third down, well, Denver used its defense and some outstanding scramble moves by Elway to go over 300 yards passing, and the Denver Broncos, sole possession of the AFC West, have a 2-game lead, are 7-1, as it's 4 straight wins for Reeves over Knox in this highly competitive series. Now stay tuned. After our coverage from Mile High Stadium in Denver, we have a World Series report, followed by our house, except on the West Coast and most Mountain Time Zone stations, where our house will be seen at its regular time. For Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg, so long from Denver, Colorado.
Away. Oh, I tell you, this game, for a 1-0 ball game, has had everything in the world in it, hasn't it? Great defensive plays.
Most of the time, low-scoring ball games are a purist form of baseball, not this one.
Him up. It's going to come back. Ashby's going to come back and have a look at it, and it's just out of his reach. Caught just on the top of the screen.
Just out of his reach, and Ashby didn't see that ball initially. He thought it was way out of play, and then Scott, I believe, motioned to him over his head, and that's when he reacted.
That was no more than a foot back on the screen. Smith is not very busy now. Bullpen, he's watching.
He's become a spectator. He's saying, I am warm.
1-2 to Wilson. Swing and a foul at the plate, and Ashby can't hang on. I'm not even sure Allen had a chance at that one. He might have just beaten it right down in the dirt. There's Dave watching from the Houston pen. Roger McDowell is over in the New York pen, and he's throwing occasionally. Fisted foul, out of play.
I'll tell you what's interesting, the outfield depth of the Astros, they are not that deep. Wilson has good power. and can hit a ball a long way to right center and down the line. But the Astros outfielders are playing shallow for a possible play at the plate on a base hit.
To right, smothered by Davis, throws to the pitcher covering at first. And what did he call it? Called him out. Got a beef from Bill Robinson. The umpire, Lee Wire, is over showing where Scott hit the bag with his foot. And you got 2 down, and how close can it be as Strawberry hustled over to third?
Well, I'll tell you, Glenn Davis is saying Keith Hernandez is not the only guy who can play defense. The dive and then the throw to Scott. Robinson's contention was that he did not touch the bag. We'll see.
Yeah, looks like he did.
Looked as though he did to me.
Yep, he did. In fact, he's got his toe hooked under.
That's right. That's right. The agony of defeat.
Oh, of defeat, yes. Now it's up to Ray Knight with Strawberry on third in a 1-0 ball game. 2 down for the Mets. Just low. The former Astro. Here's another look at the play at first. There's no question about the fact the man sticks his foot right in underneath the bag.
He touched the bag with the tip of his right foot.
Ray Knight, who played here, struggled here, swings and fouls it away. And it's 1-1. Howard Johnson has come to the on-deck circle now for the New York Mets. If Knight can do something. The pitcher, Orozco, would be scheduled next. That's why Johnson's out there. It is just off the outside corner. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
By the way, Darryl Strawberry is the first Met to reach third base in this ball game.
Now is between Scott and Knight. 2-1. 2-2. And Knight screams over the call.
Well, we'll see if Ray has a legitimate beef or not. On the 2-1 split finger fastball. It's very close. Very, very close.
Everybody up. It's 2-2 with 2 out. The tying run at third base in the top of the 9th inning for the Mets. Mike Scott trying to win it right here. Struck him out. That's strikeout 14. It ties the National League Championship Series record. The Houston Astros have defeated the New York Mets by a score of 1-0 on a 5-hitter by Mike Scott. The Mets stranded 7 base runners in the ball game. But Scott was equal to the challenge for the final out. We'll be back after this word from your local station. Mike Scott on 125 pitches wins the ball game, a 5-hitter. He walked 1, struck out 14. He got Carter 3 times, Hernandez 3 times, Strawberry twice, Knight twice, Backman, Wilson, Mazzilli, and Gooden once, for a total of 14. Which ties the National League Championship Series strikeout record held by John Candelaria when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Mike Scott 18-10 on the regular season, but finished with a flourish, clinching it for Houston with a no-hitter, is the winner here in the Astrodome tonight. We'll talk to him in a moment.